The War Within is only a couple days away, a week for if you're not playing the early access, and in this video I'm going to show you how to prepare for that release. Now the first thing you should do is get all of your characters to Dalaran, and you can do this by going to your Warband collections, going to your toy box, and then just typing DAL, and you can find the Dalaran Hearthstone, which you can go ahead and use. This is presumably because the DLC for the War Within will be starting in Dalaran. Alternatively, you can always wait in your capital city, either Stormwind for Alliance or Orgrimmar for Horde. But the most important thing is once the expansion actually goes live, you will want to bring all your characters to Dalaran and log in at least once after the War Within goes live so that they can start getting rested experience, because this will only happen once the level cap has been raised for that character. So if they're level 70 now, you will have to log in again on all of your characters so that they can start generating rested XP. Now the next thing might be something that you still have to do, and that is sort out your spells and talents for all the characters that you plan to play, at least your main. It's like the most important thing to make sure that all your buttons are in the right place, because some characters you might have like, you know, bars that look like this that aren't sorted yet, or even talents that haven't been chosen specifically for that character yet. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you do that, because you don't want to be fiddling around with spells and talents and bars and everything on the launch of the expansion because you didn't do them before. So make sure all of that stuff is ready. Also, in terms of cleanup, you're going to want to make sure that your bags are clean too. You're going to want to get rid of all like profession stuff here that you're no longer going to use for the Dragon Isles. If you can sell it on the auction house, sell it on the auction house. If it's soulbound and you know you're not going to need it anymore, you can go ahead and delete it. I know I'm never going to use these things. They're just going to clutter up my bags for no reason. So go ahead and clean up your bags so that you have fresh bags for all that new stuff that you're going to collect in the new expansion. Bonus tip, some people didn't know that you can actually click the backpack icon and do convert to separate bags, or even, you know, just click it and convert to combined bag. This is default in the game. It's not an add-on. You can do that anytime you want. With the new Warband Bank being a thing, this is something you should do your quest line for, that you should have already got the quest line, the quest for it, to complete it at the Caverns of Time. This will give you the spell to summon the Warbank Distance Inhibitor, which is a spell that you put on your hotbar that allows you to use it every 2 hours to access your Warband Bank, where you can store all your money, you can store items that are only bind on equip or like profession based. And in fact, you can buy more tabs by pressing this plus button and, you know, getting an extra tab for, you know, this one costs 25,000 gold right now. I'm not going to get it. And you can always go ahead and right click the tab, give it a new name. You can select what expansion it's for. If you can assign it to equipment, so equipment will only be stored in there. Consumables, profession goods. So if you're doing a lot of professions and collecting like a bunch of cloth and other sellable materials on the auction house, you can have a bag here where all your characters just dump it in here for one character to sell it. Alternatively, you can always go to any bank within the game in any of the major cities. You can go to a banker and you'll be able to access your Warband Bank here in the final slot too. The next thing you're going to want to do is visit your local auction house, because there's some enchants and flasks you can buy to go into the expansion to make leveling a little bit quicker. Now the items you want to look for are going to be the charged Phial of Alacrity, which is going to increase your speed by 744 for 30 minutes. And if you have, you know, alchemy as a thing, this actually goes up to double, so it becomes an hour. Now these shouldn't be too expensive. Right now it's only 54 gold for a Phial, so for me that is not a crazy amount. You can also get enchants. Now enchants you might have to get in the lower quality depending on the price. Like some of them might be 700 gold, some of them might be cheaper, like 50 gold or 18 gold or like 40 gold, like this one is over here. This one can enchant your bracers for devotion of speed to give you 175 speed. So if you're looking for maximum speed, you can enchant your bracers as you level up, and every time you get a new set of bracers, just throw the enchant on, just so that you can keep your speed going insane. We also have Enchant Chest Accelerated Agility, which is going to increase your agility by 94, which might not be necessary for some of your classes out there, but it does give you 225 speed extra as well. So you can really get a high speed count if you keep adding these things on. And the other one is Enchant Cloak Writ of Speed to get 125 speed onto your cloak. And we also get the Straddling Viridium, which is a gem that you can only use one of, which is a mistake I made because I bought 20 thinking I could use all of them. You can only use one at a time, but it does give you 56 speed. With all of these boosts applied, you can see that we get a 23% increase to our speed, our movement speed. So 23% faster than what we would normally be, which isn't bad. 23% movement speed is pretty damn cool. You can see I run really quick. Now, before we leave Dragonflight, you should spend all of your Bronze Bullions, if you do have any left, at least to get the mount or any transmog that you're looking for. You can see you can get these from defeating raid bosses in any difficulty, even Raid Finder. And in Veldraken, you can make your way to this location right over here where you can see I am on the map at this little spot. We're going to go into this little entrance here. When you go inside here, you will see these 3 NPCs that you can interact with. They will sell you the different gear from all the different tiers of the raids. But even more so, if we look at the back right corner by this bookcase, there is an NPC over here called the Infinite Importer. Now, when you speak to this NPC, you will see you'll get the option to get transmog for any of the weapons through any of the tier sets that we had in Dragonflight. So if you're looking for any of the colors, maybe like a Raid Finder version, because it requires insane luck to grab a Raid Finder colored weapon, or even the Mythic one in case you want the Mythic version of that weapon. But on the very first page, you can see there is a mount that you can collect too, which is called Jigglesworth Senior. That's something you should definitely go ahead and snag before you go into the next expansion. This is what the mount looks like in case you're interested, if it's something that you want to get. I think it looks pretty cool, looks interesting, and it looks like this when it moves. Pretty cool mount. If you find yourself with a lot of gold to spend and you want to try sync it on some last minute rewards, you can always go ahead and fly to Veldraken over here. I will show you the map location. I'm just showing you that it is at the bottom of the mountain on this side over here. So we're going to this little hole over here. It's right at this location in Veldraken, or outside Veldraken, right over here. Once you enter the building, it will show it as this location over here. So right over here, it's at the bottom of the mountain, as you can see, just outside the Obsidian Enclave here. And when you go inside this building, you'll see that there is 12 days remaining on the assistance store over here. And this is where you can buy some things with gold. So you can either get this flying mount, which is the golden beetle thingy. There's also things like weapons or a really cool helmet that I saw earlier that is for warriors, which looks like this, which looks pretty damn cool, but it costs 75,000 gold. It's not insane, but it's something pretty cool if you really want it. If you haven't already, doing the Radiant Echoes event is a great time to level up alts, get gear for them, as well as a few other nifty things. If you check the rewards over here, you're able to spend 20,000 of the residual memories currency to get a mount of your faction. So this will be a Griffin for Alliance members, and for Horde it will be a Wing Rider thingy. You'll also be able to get 3 companions if this is something you're into. You can also get 480 eye level gear, so if your alts are really low level, this is a great way to get them some good gear, as well as unlocking this transmog set for all of your characters to use if this is something you so choose. There will also be a ring item that you can collect in here, and when you go ahead and you go to all 3 of these zones and you collect the residual essence from each 3 of these zones, and you collect 20 of them, you can turn this into an heirloom ring, which will provide you the Band of Radiant Echoes, which is a heirloom ring that you can see here, which, you know, can fill your second ring slot for heirlooms if that's something that you're into. Though I find heirlooms quite redundant these days myself. And because everything is shared with your warbands now, you can always go ahead and access your currency tab, and you can pull this residual memories currency from other characters towards you. So I can go transfer. I see my other character has 5,292. I can go ahead and do 5,292 and transfer it to myself so that I will now have over 9,000. And that's how you can pull the currencies onto one character to buy everything you need. This will also be your final chance to do all the Awaken raids in heroic difficulty before, you know, they no longer give the rewards that they give out, as well as getting to over 2,000 Mythic Plus rating on your character to get a special mount and reward, which will no longer be available for the next expansion. Now, if you're still playing on the 19th of August when I'm recording this video, there is 1 day left on WoW Remix Mists of Pandaria. So by the time you've seen this, no doubt this will probably already have been over, and your characters from MOP Remix will then be ported to their capital city. So if they're a Horde character, they're going to go to Orgrimmar. If they're Alliance, they're going to go to Stormwind, where you'll then get to, you know, go to the embassy and kind of like finish up some, you know, final questing stuff and get your character ready for the War Within. You'll have like a couple days before the release of the expansion in order to do so. If the event is still active, this is your final chance to head to any of the Infinite Bazaars. And when you go here, you can go ahead and claim any final rewards, transmog, or things that will follow you immediately into the retail version of the game. This also includes the mounts from the mount store outside, so if any of these mounts are ones that you want to take into the War Within or just onto your retail account, this is your final attempt to go ahead and get them. So grab them while they're still hot. A personal favorite of mine is the Astral Cloud Serpent, which I had been dying to get since MOP first released, which is something I've always wanted from Elegon. And that is pretty much how you can prepare for the War Within. I hope you guys have a good time, and thank you so much for watching.